grievous wolf, the Reverend Al Sharpton. We all have seen what has been going on the past several days, a little over a week, the responses to many of the executive orders that President Donald J. Trump, number 45 and 47, he's our president. When Joe Biden was our president, he was our president. When Barack Obama was our president, he was our president. And now President Trump is our president. But we have seen the fake outrage that many race baiters and race hustlers are now pushing upon those who are low information voters. And see, when you are a low information voter, you're also a low information thinker. And low information voters and low information thinkers produce low information outcomes. And so here we are today with all of these lies being told about the revocation of LBJ's executive order, the 1965 Discrimination Act. Now let's keep in mind that LBJ was a racist. I don't know if they still teach this in school, but when you think of LBJ, think about the overall deconstruction and imploding of the black family. Think about this, that from the 1890s all the way up to the 1950s, the black marriage rate rivaled that of whites. But after LBJ came along with his Great Society plan, he found a creative way to remove the black man from the home and to replace him with a $300 to $400 check from the federal government. And by doing so, they made it difficult for women who are on their own or women who were married to receive support from the government. The only way that they could do this is that they had to hide the patriarch who was in the house. And this same LBJ said that I will have voting for, and I quote,
Democrats for the next 200 years. Man, he wasn't far off, but let's hear from Pastor Manning as well.
That remotely reveres Al Sharpton. There's something wrong with you, dreadfully. There's something wrong with you. That is one of the most vile human beings that have ever set his ass in a chair. That is one of the most vile human beings that ever doo-dooed between two hills. Al Sharpton, it shows you how sick black people are. Now, they don't know it. They have no idea. Hell, they walk around with their pants down, showing their butthole. They don't work. They don't want to go to work. They don't see work as an ethic. They don't believe in providing. They have no concept of bringing home the paycheck and providing for their families or building in the neighborhoods. That black man, all he wants you to do is give him. That's all he wants. He doesn't understand white folks' work ethic. He gets angry with them. He gets angry with the man. The man told him to pick up that box, take it over there. He gets angry. He doesn't understand the work ethic. He's a sick person, that black man. He's sick. He don't want to work.
Now, come on now. We know he's overgeneralizing, but Pastor Manning does speak a lot of truth. And there are a lot of people out here walking around with their behind showing. There are a lot of people out here that don't want to work. There are a lot of people out here that is quick to have come out of their mouth, well, what's the government going to do for me? They disregard JFK's, ask not, what, the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country. No, these are people with their hands out a lot. And that's a lot of the reason why you have a large amount of people moving towards The Democratic Socialists looking for something for nothing. Zoran Mamdani promised folks free buses and free food, via government ran grocery stores, and folks lost their minds. But people don't understand that every time the government gives you something, they take something away. We have entirely too many people out here that are low IQ voters, low information voters, as Pastor Wu mentioned in the opening clip. There are entirely too many people that are that, and they're easily fooled because they hear, something is racism and that's a dog whistle, and it clouds their judgment. It muffles their hearing. It keeps them from taking the time, that extra step to do their own due diligence to see what the policies of an individual is. How many times have we, witnessed people come out and say, hey, I'm gonna vote Kamala Harris just because she's Black and she's a woman, although she's not Black? How many times we heard that, hey, we're gonna support Karen Bass because she's a woman and she's Black? How many times did we hear, hey, Barack Obama, that's the Messiah, my forever president, not because of the policies that he implemented that were great, but solely because Black, or at least perceived to be Black. I find it really funny how Democrat Party continues to give folks faux Black people, and they continue to fall for the banana in the tailpipe over and over and over again. We got more to get into. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Al Sharpton and Ben Crump getting that work today. Let's go.
And I'm telling you, just watch close and you'll see it. It's all implications. That's all they do. There are never any facts. This is the exact same thing Candace Owens did. This is the exact same thing they did with Carmelo Anthony. And the moment the hearing with Tyler Robinson, everything Candace Owens said went out the window. It's exactly what they're doing there. Is selectively releasing information just enough to keep all the Black people's imagination on what possibly could have happened to him, just because these are people who were raised to think that white people mean you harm outside. These are the sheep. Our community have sheep too. These people are they've been passing down the same hate and fear throughout their family. They don't have any of their own experiences. They've never been around white people. They don't kick it with white people. They don't know that we're all just people, bro. They don't know that shit. I be trying to tell people that there's some people who really lost, and these are the that lose you.
Oh man, yeah, these are the people leading the loss. They're just as lost as well. You see this right here. It says we get paid even if we don't win a case, turning the whole case into a spectacle. The reality of it is Ben Crump as an ambulance chaser and a race hustler. These are two grifters. These are the two biggest grifters in the country when it comes to, these, race relation, issues. These people, they throw out, just enough to get people, speculating and guessing around so they can fill up those GoFundMe coffers so they can get their cut and then move on. They never solve anything. They never actually bring forth justice. And to be honest with you, it's rare that they actually give resources to the people that they're quote unquote raising the money for. And when there's actual issues going on in Black communities, Al Sharpton and Ben Crump are never seen nor heard from. Although Teslin yesterday did say Ben Crump showed up for her nephew or cousin. But even then, I don't know if that's true because someone in the comment section said they was looking it up and they couldn't find it. So we don't know, because we do understand that they do be lying.
Well, everybody's official. I filed a formal complaint in the county against, in the federal courthouse against Al Sharpton and Crump for inciting violence in my town that would lead to harm to just about anybody. And specifically our judge, her family, those kids, their families, stuff like that. So I'm going to keep on filing stuff too, because that's what I can do, because I am an American, a real one, and I live here. I can do that.
I can appreciate him filing a complaint because the race hustlers are going to hustle. The grifters are going to grift. I've been saying it for quite some time. And these people, they come to sow there's more division. They come to cause more chaos, more social unrest, instead of letting this case play out, letting the investigation play out. And then, once we have the actual facts and details, no, they do a bunch of, jumping to conclusions, selling, false narratives, all in the name of getting up the donations. Booker T. Washington talked about these race hustlers way back when. I'm not going to repeat the quote, but y'all know what it is.
If your first reaction is to reach out to Ben Crump, or I'm guessing Ben Crump reached out to them, is to take that call and say, yes, because you believe the internet hype, What you're telling me immediately is that you don't like white people, that you don't trust the process. You've been given no reason not to trust the process. You're buying into the culture, snipping in your ears. Maybe it's the black church you attend or whatever. Maybe it's the pressure from the culture, the community to burn every bridge that you spent your life building. If you dislike your friends and neighbors so much that you're willing to tear that community apart by bringing in a Ben Crump and an Al Sharpton to accuse everybody of racism and comparing your child to a modern day Emmett Till, why do you want to live around these people? Why don't you go live around people who are more like-minded than you? If you hate us, why do you want to be around us? Make that make sense for me. Circle that square, because that's what you're telling me when you go and hire a Ben Crump and an Al Sharpton. I didn't even know Al Sharpton still did this.
I'm with them there. If you truly believe that, the community that you were in at that time, the people were like that, why'd you stay there? I understand you grew up there, but why not leave? This is a free country. This is America. You could pack up and dip out. Why stay there? You were friends, with, one of these children's, one of the children's sons or mother. For a long time, y'all knew each other from school. If these people were truly like this, why stay there? That's why as soon as I heard that Ben Crump was involved in this, I was giving the parents the huge side eye. Like, this makes absolutely no sense. Why, if y'all know these people, y'all know the families, y'all know these boys, I'm assuming that they've been over your house. Nolan had been over theirs. You obviously went to school and you were friends with, one of these children's mothers, and this is where you go, unless it's just about the money grab because they told you like, hey, we can raise some money and we can do this and we can do that for you. All you're going to have to do is let us destroy your community and the relationships with the people that you had there. I mean, is it really worth it? Is a couple $100,000 really worth that? I don't think so. But seeing people do, worse for a whole lot less. I'm so tired of people like this. I get it. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has the ability to speak their mind, on these social media platforms. But I'm really sick and tired of people like this.
If you really want to see the racism white people say doesn't exist, look at the wealth gap. That's all you need to know.
What's racist about seeing yachts? What's racist about that? Could be Michael Jordan's yacht. Could be Tiger Woods' yacht. Could be your favorite rappers, Jay-Z's and Beyonce's yacht. Who knows?
I guarantee you not a single black person own any of these boats, right?
Just making an assumption.
So if you want, let's say you want to be able to afford something like this, where would you do that? All these environments that you would need to go to earn something like this, it's all controlled by white people. You know what I'm saying? Especially jobs that are paying over $100,000, $200,000 a year. It's all controlled by white people. If you don't move a certain way that white people want you to move, you'll never get that money. So you'll never be able to afford something like this. This is why if you somehow figure out a way to finagle and outwit the system and you manage to get money to buy something like this and white people see you in these areas, they're going to start questioning, what are you doing here? That's why they be asking you, what are you doing in my neighborhood? Because they know you're not supposed to have the money. They're not supposed to give it to you.
The inferiority complex that a lot of these people have is sickening. First off, why do you even care? Second off, we live in America. This is the one place in the world that you can start at the bottom 10% and work your way to buying one of these yachts if you so choose. This is the one place you can do it. You can see a need and you can go fulfill that need. There are plenty of people out there, Black folks, Indians, different types of Asians, Hispanics, that are really getting some money out here because they're willing to put their head down and work. They're not coveting what someone else has. They're not complaining or acting jealous about the work that someone else put in. If you want something along those lines, you're young enough. Go work for it. Go find a need and solve said need. Simple as that. The average millionaire in America is a 58-year-old man who has been married to his wife for well over 20 years, had all his children within that union, lived in the same modest home, typically drives a car that's paid for. It can be done in a lifespan if you make proper choices and proper decisions. Hard to have and build wealth when the government is in your business because you got 2, 3, 4 baby mamas. Not saying that this dude has it, but it's hard to build generational wealth when the government is in your business. I'm so sick and tired of people like this, with this jealous, covetous mindset. It just showcased that, the inferiority complex that a lot of these people have, man. It's unbelievable.
They want to be in bondage, and that scares the daylights out of me. History has a way of destroying the stories that we were told.
It also has a way of repeating itself.
Back in 1921, a black man named Anthony Johnson arrived in the English colony in Virginia. Like many Africans of that era, he came under forced circumstances. He was an indentured servant. And after years of labor, he gained his freedom. He didn't stay poor. He worked hard. He acquired land, actually hundreds of acres, 640 of them to begin with. He became one of the wealthiest black landowners in colonial Virginia. He owned livestock. He built a successful tobacco plantation, and he accumulated servants and laborers. One of those men was by the name of John Cansor. Cansor eventually claimed that his term of service had expired. A white neighbor by the name of Robert Parker believed Cansor had served long enough and encouraged him to leave Johnson's plantation, which he did, and he did so quickly. But Johnson wasn't having any of that. He sued the white farmer, Parker, and the case made its way all the way up to the Virginia courtroom in 1655. And in the first time in American history, the judges ruled in Anthony Johnson's favor. John Cansor was ordered returned back to Johnson for the remainder of his natural lifespan. That ruling became an early precedent recognizing lifetime servitude in colonial Virginia and marked an important step in the legal development of slavery in English America as we knew it. Now let that sink in. One of the most uncomfortable stories in American history isn't black and white. It's about human nature. And scripture warned us long ago, long before America existed, that the heart of man was deceitfully wicked. Sin doesn't care about your skin color. Greed doesn't care about your ancestry. The desire to control another human isn't owned by one race. It belongs to fallen humanity. Like the book Uncle Tom's Cabin that depicts a man that did all he could to save the slaves that were on the plantation, it took 2 black men, one by the name of Sambo, the other by the name of Quimbo, to find Uncle Tom, the actual hero of the story, and beat him to death. And that's curious because the Democrats today will call me the Uncle Tom. But I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to deliver people from the iron shackles that they just can't see.
Phenomenal. He's absolutely right. I want to add some context to the Anthony Johnson story. That's not from 1921. It's actually from the early 1600s, but it is a case that helped to or set precedents to basically codify slavery in perpetuity if one so chose. So that did happen. That is a real situation. But I also want people to understand that if you go and look at the 1830 census discusses what was going on in America, at that time. And in the 1830 census, it tells you exactly how many blacks, how many free blacks, how many actual slaves, and the black people that actually own slaves. Yes, some of the largest plantation owners in South Carolina were black men. That's not a lie. It's true. In 1830 census, there was over 319,000 free blacks. There was a little over 2 million enslaved blacks. Of the free blacks, a little over 3,000, almost 4,000 of those people actually owned slaves. This is true. These are facts. They never want to talk about it. They only tell you, oh, there was only white people that did this. No, it was just the way of life. I'm not saying it was right, but it was the way of life. The other thing that people don't talk about is the trans-Saharan slave trade. The Arabs that enslaved entirely way more black folks, way more Africans. And that went on upwards until the mid 1900s. And if you go and look at it today, in certain countries in Africa, slavery still exists. There is still a large slave trade right now on the continent of Africa. You can go and look it up for yourself if you don't believe me.
White people freed black people from slavery, but that narrative is never pushed. It's always white people owned slaves. Never how Africans sold other black people into slavery and white people freedom. You see, that would be going against the narrative. And we all know they don't like when you go against the narrative. They don't like when you tell the truth. White people aren't the enemies.
Yeah, history is. We all know that the Republican Party, way back when it was formed, it was considered the abolitionist party. We also understand that the abolitionists were Christian white men who decided to stand up and fight against the evil scourge of slavery in our country. We know this, but the Marxists, the melanated Marxists in this country, the liberal Marxists in this country want you to believe that just because someone is white, they are automatically inherently evil and they're wicked and they've been the worst thing to ever happen to the United States of America. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. It is. But again, he who owns the pen gets the chance to write history. And it's really not history. It's actually his story. Whoever so has the ability to write it. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Support what we're doing. 25% off everything at the ARP family merch store. Go get you one of them Minister Danzel, that stupid on steroids t-shirt. They are available today. Go get you one. Type in hashtag ARP family in the coupon code. You'll see it, but hashtag ARP family. ARPmerchstore.com. We'll appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much, man, for supporting what we're doing over here. And as always, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. And the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my